Demi Palestine. It's
Right.
Yani Demi Palestine. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yes, sir.
That's dope.
Yeah.
He never said
my
Little
God.
Israel with the gang.
That's true. He wants all this smoke.
You're a
He wants-
hater.
I'm pro-love. I love
Yeah.
all of my
Yeah.
Jewish, Muslim,
Yeah.
Christian brothers and sisters. Like, I'm not even like
Right.
that. Like,
It's like every time Drake drops the Arabic word, we're like,
yeah, we're like starving for representation,
Yeah.
starving. I already know 40, so it's like
Nice.
all love, and we both have MS, so it's like
okay.
love. Like when I got diagnosed, I like reached out to 40, and I was like, oh my god, like how do you-
Multiple sclerosis.
yeah, we both have MS. Just by saying I'm Palestinian,
Yeah.
I've lost opportunities. People will like not want to work with me and like not look at me. Even as an American, like after 9/11, like all Arabs were terrorists. And like growing up as a child, that's why I used to say I was like Palestinian and Puerto Rican, because it was so hard. People would like judge you. I would see like, you know, my aunts that would wear the hijab, the brutality that they experienced because they wore the hijab.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
they
Learn
try to
those
get
things.
those things out of you,
Yeah,
bro.
you know, and it's
before-
like, oh god.
Like
let
what
me
kind
say
of
it.
super personal thing?
Oh man. My god, they call my mom like, she's on radio. She's on this thing. You already know. My mom is just like, oh my god. So
Shout out
Same.
mama.
I mean, if we
Shout
don't
out
say it,
moms.
we'll probably get killed.
I think we're
I
all
see
like,
an incoming slipper.
incoming slipper. Not the ship. And I'm super honored because I feel like you guys' podcast is gonna be so massive, and I'm
Yeah.
I'm
I
honored to
hope
be
so, yeah.
the first female.
first female guest.
Ya moza, ya moza.
Habibi House.
Cause you hold a placement, lock it down so I can give you visitation. You stay on my mind, spinning.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Habibi House podcast, episode 6, the #1 Arab American podcast in the world. And today we have Inez X
Hey.
coming all the way from, where are you from?
Well, I mean, I live in LA, so you know, didn't come far, but
Where are you from originally?
I'm from New York.
New York City.
Yeah,
Hey
but
now.
originally.
Originally, I am Palestinian. Hey now.
Hell yeah.
We're
Nice.
here. Ow.
We out here.
But yeah, born in New York, Brooklyn girl, but here in LA.
I noticed it when I first heard, I forget one of your songs. It's you said pawn, but you said like porn. And I was like, yeah, she's from Brooklyn.
How do
It's
you,
so funny.
Yeah.
how do they talk out there?
I mean, like, I feel like I haven't been like on the current lingo, which sucks because I'm like not there. You gotta be there kind of thing.
Dead
you know?
ass, yeah.
Yeah, dead ass.
B.
But I feel like like dead ass and all that stuff is just like engraved in the lingo.
Right.
Like that's like old. Like I'm like, you know, I went back to town and then they're like, there's a bunch of new lingo.
Yeah,
now.
like what?
Like I don't know, like someone's like treach, like things like that, and I'm like, what? Like what's that? And like literally, I'm like, I'm getting hip on the lingo because I haven't even been back home. So it's
Right.
like, you know,
How
I'm
many
like,
pairs of Timberlands do you have?
oh my god, I'm so weak. I only got the Timbs with the heels. It's
The
only right, you
heels.
know, like it's only
Oh,
right.
man.
But like, yeah, like I haven't been back. When you go back, it's just like such a different life. So I miss it for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, every time I've been to New York or the city, like, I'm like, I like visiting, but I don't know if I could like live.
I was
here.
just in New
Yeah.
York like 2 days ago, and I did not want to come back. I love New
Oh,
York.
Where
okay.
Where are you guys from?
I'm from Michigan.
Oh man,
Detroit.
I feel like there's a lot of Arabs in Michigan.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I feel
there's
like
a
it's
lot.
like all
Like-
I hear is there's so many Arabs. All the Arabs are in Michigan. I'm like, oh shoot, we gotta
It's
go
like the
hit it up.
entry to the U.S. is Michigan.
Oh.
yeah.
Shout out Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah, you're born literally.
You know what the history is or why they're all there?
No.
Because Henry Ford paid them $5 a day to work in his factories.
Wow.
And
Balling.
Wow.
knowing Arabs, they would have probably done it for free. To be honest.
The hustler mindset, you know.
And yeah, I lived most of my life in Florida. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
yeah, a lot, balance between like Orlando, Miami, but it's a little beach. Like my hometown is Vero Beach, Florida. So
I love
yeah.
it. And then like I feel like
They call it actually the Hamptons of Florida. It's Vero Beach.
Wow.
Just to that New York connection. yeah.
Wow.
So, but,
we're like the Arab American voices, aren't we?
yeah, we are.
I mean, we have to be.
Okay, now
I mean,
love
yeah,
it.
like you have amassed a massive following, right? So like, how did, like, have you been on Instagram like since day one? Like, how's that? Like, social media has just been.
Yeah, I mean, social media has been like a big part of my journey in my career for sure. I mean, I went on my first national tour and like was on Billboard like with like 50,000 followers. So like I definitely like started with not a lot of, well, I had a lot of followers, but you know what I mean? Not as much.
Proportionally,
And then it kind of was like, music was my thing first. Like I just kind of was just all out artist development, you know, like got on Billboard, got on tour. I wasn't even like on Instagram like that. Like I had followers like that, but like the 50,000, but like I wasn't even posting like that. I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was just so focused on like my artist journey.
That's really important.
Yeah, you know.
Were you independent at the time? Were you signed?
Yeah, like, well, I was signed to a production deal at the time in the beginning. And it was kind of like, I was signed to the same label as like a major artist at the time. So I was on like a big tour and, you know, like it was pretty massive, you know, but like I just didn't understand social media yet. So I wasn't posting like that. And then after, it took until like when I moved to LA. Like I feel like being in New York and being on the East Coast, like people didn't care as much at the time about that stuff. But then moving to LA, everybody's like following, like, oh, what's your following like and all this stuff. So then I was just like, oh, and then also like, you know, everybody was just like kind of like, you have to like build your persona, you know? So I started being like, okay. And then I was at the time like kind of like stuck in a bad deal. I couldn't like put out music. So I really focused on the social media aspect of things.
I was gonna.
Damn, you couldn't put out music?
For like a little while, I was like, you know,
some Taylor Swift stuff.
Yeah, new artist, you know, new artist mistakes, of course.
Nas version.
Yeah, like, you know, you
15
make,
minutes.
yeah, you literally, you make these mistakes kind of like all new artists make mistakes in the beginning and like sign like bad deals or whatever. But I had to kind of like, people warned me, I had to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that.
Yeah.
It's notorious for like these labels to just, you know, take advantage of people that they think that they can, and then.
I mean, you know what it is? It's kind of like some artists experience the best, and then some artists experience the worst. You know what I mean? It's important to like listen to like your lawyers, your advisors. You know what I mean? It's important to get good people on your team, like. And like at the time, like I just, you know, like you have to like learn. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a business.
100%.
You know what I mean? So it's like any business. It's like, it's a business. Like, so, and it's kind of like, don't hate the player, hate the game kind of thing, you know? So it's like, you have to like charge it to the game. And unfortunately, like you have to learn the hard ways. I learned a lot of stuff the hard ways, which I shouldn't, some things I could have just avoided, but
What did you learn?
For me, like, just so much. First, like, trust myself, you know, like, have good people around me. Sometimes you just have to learn the hard way. Like, people can warn you, and you'll still be like, oh, you know, like, I'm just going to do it. And
Did you have a team in the beginning? Yeah.
I did. I had great people around me, but
Okay.
I also had, like, you know, like, not great people around me. So I feel like I was, like, torn.
Were they stealing from you, or they were just
Yeah,
not?
like a little bit of that, a little bit of like, you know, putting up like a lot of, as an independent artist, you put up a lot of money, you lose a lot, you know, but then, you know, you sign a deal, you expect that to change things. It doesn't.
They like give you like a loan, right? It's not.
Well, like sometimes,
Yeah.
but like some deals, like if you're like lucky and you have the leverage, but at the time I didn't. So, you know, it was kind of like, it was one of those, but luckily I got out of it. I like learned from all of it. And then now I'm so like wary, conscious, and I'm like, immediately any deals, I'm like, let me call my lawyer.
Right.
Like, and then my lawyer is like, no. Then I'm like, all right, like, let me listen, you know. And then, of course, it's good sometimes to get a second opinion or whatever, but it's good to listen. Because when I was younger and, like, a younger artist, I just, like, didn't listen. Like, I thought I knew everything, and you don't, you know.
When did you start dropping music?
I started dropping music a few years ago. Like, my first official song, Love Is, was, like, on the Billboard dance charts. Like, it was insane. So,
Damn, that's quick.
yeah, like,
That was
I dropped
like
a couple
7
covers.
years ago, right?
Yeah, like, it was, like, 6, 7, about that. Yeah, and, like, literally, I started dropping covers before then. And then it kind of, like some of the covers were, like, doing well. I was, like, just, like, going. And then I started dropping stuff on SoundCloud. And then, boom, like, when I first dropped my first song, like, it just, like, I feel like it was just something... Like, it was something new. Like, you know, I got into music because there was, like, no girls that, like, looked like me. Like, there was, like, no Middle Eastern girls, you know? So that's why I got into music. And I feel like when it first started hitting, I was, like, the pop girl, though. Like, I was making,
Trap
like...
Princess
Yeah,
Jasmine.
you know? Oh, well, yeah, like, it kind of has evolved.
Well, I was gonna say that because from those 2 singles that were like the big ones, 7 years ago until now, I feel like you're definitely leaning more into the Arab culture a lot more.
100%.
Because the previous ones were more like definitely like mainstream like radio hits, and then these that you like it's nonstop, I think, and then cuff you up.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
I love
I've been
it.
doing my homework.
Research, okay, I love that.
Those are definitely like I love because I've been dabbling in making beats too, and I love always like using like Arab like samples and stuff like that, Arabic music and stuff.
you
So
know?
you're
Beats.
definitely doing that a lot more.
And
Yeah.
the visuals too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, even the cover art, you're very like
Yeah.
Jasmine-esque. Yeah.
At what point did you realize like I want to embrace this and like, you know?
I feel like it was something that was always very important to me, but I feel like we weren't like cool, like it wasn't the cool thing.
Right.
I don't know how else to say it. Like it wasn't the cool thing because when I would, I have to get closer. Oops. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's fix that.
So yeah, like like when I first started, like like I feel like I would always say it, like I want the Middle Eastern sounds, like I'm Middle Eastern. I want to own my roots. I want to own my culture. But and like a lot of it would be like, but I still want us to be cool. And like I am a New York girl. I live in LA. Like I'm an American girl. Like I want to be in on the
Charts.
you want to be on the charts. You want to be in top 40. But you want like because of who I feel like your sound has to match your look.
Right.
And like we haven't had enough crossover girls or guys from our culture,
Yeah, like barely even any brown. Like
Yeah.
brown
What's
barely
crazy
even-
though, like
yeah.
didn't you just cover Big Pimpin'?
Yes.
Okay, so that be like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, it's like they made major hits with Arab like sounding beats.
Exactly.
But they're not Arab.
Exactly.
And so, but then when an Arabic person tries to do it, it doesn't hit as hard.
Well,
what
you
I
know
mean?
what?
And
Yeah.
So it's a
What? It's really
phenomenon.
interesting. It's really interesting because I feel like that about our culture in general. Like
Yeah.
I feel like when other people do it, it's like cooler, and then when we do it, it's like like whatever, people will overlook it. But I feel like I'm so adamant and I'm so passionate about having like being that crossover girl, and then seeing more crossover
Right. And
people from our
yeah.
culture. Like
You're breaking barriers. Like that's it. Yeah.
oh my god, I stop
No,
it.
honestly, like we felt like even when talking about this podcast and you were giving us our flowers about it and stuff, like it's nice to see this wave occur, like where we are being taken more seriously in the entertainment business. So we're literally seeing that happen live.
Oh my
So,
gosh,
yeah.
I know. I'm super honored because I feel like you guys' podcast is going to be so massive, and I'm honored
I
to
hope
be
so, yeah.
the first.
It starts with
female.
it here right now.
because we're it. You know what I mean? And I feel like everyone is it in their own ways, but we're owning what we are and being what we are and being those voices. I feel like it's it. Hey, there he is.
Oh wow! Just woke up from a nap.
I know, right? So nice of you to join us.
On brand, unfortunately for me. I'm working on.
always.
On brand.
Sorry to be late.
He's
How
like,
are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
He's like, I was just on the phone with Drake.
No.
Drake's uncle.
I wouldn't be late for this intentionally at all. I mean, everything we do is intentional in some way, but I apologize.
Mike a little bit.
Back up. All right. How we
Oh,
doing?
yeah.
Yeah, no, we're doing good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like you had to kind of carve out your own way, basically.
Right.
Like, who were like some of your inspirations when you first got into it?
I feel like
Because now you're an inspiration for other girls, probably.
oh.
Have you get a lot of people saying you're my inspiration?
Literally, it's really nice.
You say again?
No, literally.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
she
cry
already
again.
cried
Yeah, no,
so
literally,
much, so
we're
I
gonna
guess.
cry again. Literally, no. No.
We cried 3 times altogether so far.
All right. I'm ready.
Therapy session. Are you ready?
Yeah.
No, for me, I feel like when I first started doing music, it was kind of like the only girls who had owned the Middle Eastern culture and had been that was like Shakira, because she's half Lebanese. And then, but she's half Colombian, and she
Right.
really leaned in her Latin. And then, like MIA, because she owned the sounds. So I was really inspired by them. And then, of course, like the males who have already done it and just had like their super hits. For me, it was like I had just seen all of the people who like anybody like us who had crossed over. I'm like, what is it, And I feel like it's like we're cool. We're really cool.
I mean, everyone steals our stuff.
We're
Like,
really
it's-
cool,
yeah.
and like literally, so like speaking of Timberland, like that was one of the first producers I
that's
worked
right.
with.
Nice.
And then, we have a great relationship. He's like, always supportive of everything.
I have a funny story about Timberland.
No, he's like, he's like, he's the best. And I feel like, but I saw him in Miami like almost a year ago, and he literally was like, I love, like finally, I was like, I'm owning my roots more, I'm owning my culture more. And the reason why I did it was because I just felt like people kept asking me like, what are you? And I love the racial ambiguity. I love that because I love being international. I love being global. I love all those things. But I love what I am. Like, I love owning my roots. And I feel like this is something that's like a groundbreaking thing. We haven't had enough crossover people from our culture in America. Being American, like, that's has always been so important to me, because like growing up and seeing all these pop stars, like I was inspired by Britney and Beyonce, but like I was always like, I want to see a girl that's like me on that stage, you know? And it just became something I was really passionate about. And I feel like when I would go too pop, people would be like, okay, well, it's too pop. And then too urban, it's like it's too urban. So I've had to really test those waters and learn, you know, what is the best thing. And when people hear the sounds in what already we listen to, like urban pop, R&B, and they hear our Middle Eastern sounds, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is what, oh, I get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that became something I was like, I only want the Middle Eastern sounds in my stuff. But now I'm kind of like finding like I'm working on my project, and I'm like really like creating that world, because I feel like I want people to like come into that world, and I want you to know that I'm Middle Eastern. That's like really important to me. And you know, I want you to also know that I'm from New York, I'm American, I live in LA. I'm like, you know, and we're like, we are that.
You're not just one thing. You're like, you have the Arab side, the New York side, the pop. I'll put them all together.
Because I feel like it's so cool, because I'm
100%
like you guys, like 100% American. Well, you're born in Jordan.
Yeah.
But you know, we're
100% Arab too.
We're pretty much, and 100% Arab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like there's like, I want more than ever to just see more of our voices become more mainstream, because I feel like, especially with everything happening to our people, but and even before that, like I feel like I've always wanted that. So I'm so happy that finally we're getting the light.
Yeah. I mean, you're leading the light in the music game, I would say.
Oh my God.
You know, we got the podcast game down.
Yeah, we're trying.
Literally.
Working on the music game on the side too. You know?
TikTok.
Taking over.
So I'm curious how you clicked up with Timberland, because I was watching your No Jumper interview in preparing for this.
Oh, man.
And I heard about that. So how did you?
I hate that interview. No. Yeah, like, you know, that was, yeah.
Why?
I was just, you know, I was just like younger.
It was a few years ago, right?
It was a few years ago. I was a little younger. I was like, you know, kind of like, you know, I've been on my super healing journey. So like just learned what to say, what not to say, and things about my own personal story that, like, you know, I don't really need to share because they're like super personal.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you have to learn.
You try to
those
get
things.
those things out of you.
Yeah,
though.
you know, and it's like, oh God.
Like
let me
what kind
say
of
it.
super personal things?
Oh man.
Timberland, anyways.
I know, right? No. So when I first started doing music, like I had a manager at the time, and I had been putting out and working with a producer. My favorite artist is Michael Jackson. So it was the producer was working with Michael. Well, he had worked on Michael had already obviously passed, and you know, God rest his soul. We love Michael so much. But so he worked with Michael, and I was making sounds that were like really older sounding pop. So we had a whole like single release party and all this stuff at the 4040 Club in New York, big deal, you know. And like, you know, big deal.
No big
at the
deal.
time it was a big deal. So, you know, and all these things, and then it was like older sounding pop. So like, you know, my manager at the time was like, who do you want to work with? And then I was like, my dream producer is Timberland. Why? Because like all of like growing up, like on the radio, like when you would hear these sounds like and these pop songs that had the Middle Eastern sounds, you feel me? They were either Timberland or Scott Storch.
Yeah.
So like I had like, so at the time I had been like that's like who I want to work with, Timberland. And yeah, we like linked up with him and his team in Miami, and it was insane. I was like really new at the time and really young, didn't have much followers. So I was working with like a lot of like his team, people on his team, and wasn't really too hands-on with him. But like, you know, it was still like the experience of it all was like crazy. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, wow. Like, and then at the time, like, you know, just like learning, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like if, like now I would have probably like honed in and like focused more on just like working with only that camp. But, you know, I was an artist and I was like wanting to explore and like work with different people and stuff. So, you know, but yeah, just nothing but like, I have nothing but positive things to say about it. He always supports everything I'm doing, always shows love, so.
Are you? And you said you've clicked back up with him recently, and
we've been like reconnecting a lot because a lot of the things that I'm doing, like, you know, I'll just like he'll like just like comment, show love, and like be like, oh my God, you know, or like fires, or like love this, or like be like, oh, you got to do more like this.
What's his favorite song?
Like literally, the reason why I dropped nonstop is because he's like, you got to drop that, like like literally. So that's like the reason I was like, okay, I got to.
Is that your favorite song of yours right now?
Honestly, a lot of my favorite songs are like my unreleased stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, like. Literally.
Are we gonna get a snippet?
Yeah, like literally. I feel like literally
Drop
the
it.
unreleased stuff is like like it's totally like where I've been trying to be artistically for so long.
Yeah.
So
I heard that.
I can relate to that.
This guy.
My unreleased
His whole
stuff
career is unreleased.
I feel like all artists love their unreleased stuff. Like every artist I'm ever with, they like will play all their unreleased stuff and never a released song.
Yeah.
And I feel like before you release it, you listen to it like a million times. So then by the time you release it to the world, you're like, oh my God, like I've heard this so many times. But the
Yeah.
world hasn't heard it yet. So it's like it's for the world now.
Exactly.
P, you gotta give it to the world because it's like, as an artist, I feel like you're selfish if you don't put it out.
Literally.
It's for the people.
Yeah, no, literally.
Speaking of putting out new music and unreleased stuff, and Timberland, did you see what he's been doing on TikTok with the lives when he goes on? He does his Timbo Idol. Yeah. He like has artists play him their stuff and gives them feedback.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
I feel like I love when producers are like, they'll like put artists on and like give artists insight. I love that stuff.
It gives people a chance, I feel like, to get that ear that they yearn for, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Until he hits them with the
Exactly. But it's good. Like constructive criticism is really good too. You know?
No, for sure. No.
So
And he's
good.
been actually like, I think the people he likes, he'll actually like reach out to and work with.
Yeah,
so.
literally. And I feel like, you know, he has been the one who like I said, he always is like, I love the Middle Eastern sounds, people, women, food, all the things.
Right,
so I feel like he put our sounds
Women, food.
like he put our sounds
Yeah,
kind of
everything
on
is
in a way.
amazing.
You know what I
Yeah.
Yeah, all of our stuff
to
is
go.
just epic, amazing, number one, period. No. But yeah, like I feel like he put our stuff like kind of like made it mainstream.
Yeah.
So now it's like kind of cool because like now we can continue that on. But that sound, because like literally like when you name one of those songs, like when you're like, oh, Big Pimpin', oh, this, that, like all the like those kinds of songs like Beyonce, Baby Boy, like those were super Middle Eastern sounding records, but they were super pop.
Yeah.
They were super like top 40, which is like,
Yeah.
I feel like now we just need more of us to be in that.
Yeah.
100%.
Wait, there's a lot of Arabs in music, at least behind the scenes.
100%,
But, you know,
especially now, yeah.
A lot in the forefront. Who do you want to work with? Like, who's your dream collab? As like a producer and an artist too.
Arab and then general.
Arab and then general. Okay, Arab 40.
Ooh.
And I already know 40, so it's like
Nice.
all love. And we both have MS, so it's like
okay.
love. Like when I got diagnosed, I like reached out to 40 and I was like, oh my God, like how
Multiple sclerosis?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, multiple sclerosis.
Wow.
Yeah, we both have MS, so it's kind of like crazy. Like it's crazy because it's just like we're both Middle Eastern, we both have MS. So
Yeah.
he was like, what, like
Didn't his father just pass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it on Drake's story.
Yeah, I reached out to
RIP.
him and he told me he was going through that because I was like trying to get him involved with this MS event because I'm a part of like the society now and like we're like I want to be more a part of like the events and all the things going on with the MS Society just to get the awareness of MS out there more. So I asked him if he wanted to come be a part of it with me, but he told me he was going through that. So, but like, yeah, definitely 40 because I feel like, you know, just the backstory behind all of that will be like so iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that Drake's whole team is basically Lebanese is insane to
It's
me.
insane!
Yeah. So it's
And
that'd be
the
great for you to
weekend
talk-
too.
It's
The
a
weekend.
Habibi ting, you
it
know?
is, yeah.
It's a Habibi
Shout
thing.
out
It's a
Ali.
Habibi ting.
You know, we were trying to have this interview at Yamashisha.
Oh yeah, I know.
podcast.
That's a
You
good.
guys already talked
That's
about
such a good idea. We gotta do
Next
our
time,
next
next time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when like literally,
Habibs.
like our next episode that we do.
He says hi, by the way.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
Habibi's thing. He
Oh,
knows
yeah.
you. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
if you know
oh
the
really?
guy.
Oh hey.
He's supposed to be giving us a hookah for the show.
It's a Habibi thing. You know what I
Habibti
mean?
thing
It's a
too.
Habibi
It's
a
ting.
Habibti
Yeah,
thing. We're
gonna make some
ting. You
merch
know,
for
we need
sure.
some merch.
Welcome
you know?
to the Habibti house.
Yes.
All
Finally.
about our equality.
Female.
Literally.
But going back to your like major singles back like 7 years ago, you worked with PNB Rock, right?
Oh yes, I did. Yes.
So how did that, like? Well, first of all, how did that happen, and then obviously what ended up happening
Allah yarhamah.
years ago? Yeah.
I know. God rest his soul. We love him so much. He's amazing. He's an amazing person too. He was Muslim too, which is so crazy.
Oh, wow.
We kind of came up together in a weird way. Like
Okay.
I met him when I had 50,000 followers on that tour, that first tour. He did a show with us in Philly, and he only had like 100,000 followers.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it was
Only.
like that was like kind
At
of
the
crazy.
time was
Well, at the
Yeah,
time,
for
yeah.
PNB Rock, yeah.
Yeah, you know. So it was crazy because like literally like we linked at the show in Philly because he's from Philly, and we were on like the national tour. So finally we got to Philly. It was a crazy show. We're almost done with the tour, And then I had like these 2 songs that I just recorded with like some of the Timberland camp and then with like, you know, like other people and whatever. And I had like this, like the producer that I had worked with on this song out here in LA. When we came out to LA, it was like my first time in LA for like 2-3 weeks. And I recorded all this music when I was on tour. And like the producer's from here is one of my good friends. His name's David. He's still one of my good friends. And we made this song called Stupid. And then like I had like these songs or whatever. So we went to the show in Philly, and I was like, okay, like, you know, I got a couple songs, you know, I want to show you, because he was like, oh, I'm a fan of yours, and I was like, oh, shoot, no way, like, I'm a fan of yours, like, this is cool, but I didn't know any of music yet, like that, like, so, like, he hadn't put out, like, Selfish or any of those yet, so, literally, we made this song, like, literally, and I like, it was 2 weeks later, I showed it to him, he loved it, we went in the studio that night, we went from Philly to New York, which is like a couple hours. We drove back to the city. We recorded in the city, and then like literally shot the video like a couple weeks later.
Damn.
Put it out. Like it was crazy.
Well, you guys were like day ones almost.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. No, it's really insane. Like it's so insane. Like you know, as an artist, you live on forever. So I feel like I feel like he's still like, because of his music and his art, he's like still
That's
here.
how I feel about like movies and like being in, you know, like TV shows and stuff like that transcends our, you know, the work that we do while we're alive.
Even this will like live on forever. You know what I mean? It lives on forever, like literally. So I think because of that, like, you know, it's so crazy when that happened, because normally when you'll hear about an artist passing, it's like, oh my God, it's sad. Of course, like I cry a lot, but when this happened, I was like crying for a while. I was like, oh my God, it hit me, because it was like, damn, like we kind of came up together, like this is crazy, you know what I mean? So it definitely hit me hard. Like it was really like.
What's even crazier is that Roscoe's is down the street.
Like literally,
it's like
we
it's pass it every single time.
Yeah, you didn't want to go last time.
I literally was like, we're not going
that.
there.
That energy. Yeah, and it's just like LA started getting really crazy at one point. So I feel like it started getting like kind of unsafe, like really unsafe.
Watch your back.
Yeah.
Where were you at the time when you heard that news?
I actually was coming back from New York, which is insane, because I was coming back from the East Coast. Someone on the East Coast told me I was on a flight, and then when I landed, I like saw everything, and then I was like just like crying. Like I was like so sad, you know. And I remember, like my man at the time was like really upset that I was so upset. But I'm like, bro, like,
one too many tears, baby.
Yeah, like literally. But I mean, like, how? Because that's really sad. I mean, it was like something deep-rooted thing.
Was he Arab too?
He wasn't Arab, but like he seemed like he was. But
he's.
My ex. No,
it's like how Jada Pinkett is still sad about Tupac.
So get sad, but not sad.
Literally, it's like what? But like literally, for me, it was so sad because like of our like the journey and like starting and like literally like coming and then.
That's rare, like meeting someone and then both of you guys, you know, making it, and then like their story kind of ends right there.
Yeah.
Are you guys still in touch? Like,
yeah, we were. He came to my birthday party that year.
Oh, wow.
So it was like the craziest thing ever.
Dang.
Like last year, like he came to my birthday party. So like we have pictures on the carpet, Getty photos and everything. So it was like crazy because like to just kind of like go through, you know it was really sad.
What's crazy is that now that we talk about that, I feel like you would have made a huge hit with Pop Smoke too. I feel like.
Man, I would. Listen, if I was still in New York, I swear, if I didn't move to LA and I was still in New York, I like that. Honestly, he was like my he's like one of my favorite artists.
He was so young too. Like he was like
one of my favorite artists.
He has like such a deep voice.
The Brooklyn swag is something so different. Like,
baby, welcome to the party.
Come on, that Brooklyn swag is something different. Nothing else ever compares. Like literally, no one has ever come close to me.
We gotta get some AI.
Yeah, literally.
Get you on an AI song with.
I know, literally with Pop. That's kind of hard.
I feel invisible. Yeah.
Nobody's come close to your swag. You're saying.
You said it. No I'm kidding.
Yeah, I did.
I heard Brooklyn has good pizza.
You know, it's so crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I just came back from Italy, and I think that the New York pizza is better.
Oh, 100%.
I don't think Italians even do pizza.
No, like they definitely don't do it the way the Americans do it.
False.
They frown upon American pizza for sure.
Yeah,
like,
it's different.
Literally, like I was with my stylist, and my stylist was like, "Do you guys got pepperoni?" And they were like so mad.
You know, I didn't like their pizza either when I was in.
I'm saying I liked it at some spots. I tried a few different spots. Some spots was good because I like the margarita pizza with like a lot of sauce. Like I like it like that.
You went to Italy?
A lot of sauce.
Yeah, I was younger.
Oh, okay. Because we're talking about the country, not Italy.
No, I know.
The
I know.
restaurant.
I've been to Italy. too.
We're not talking about Venice Beach.
Yeah.
We're talking about real Venice.
Real Venice.
Real
I've been
Venice.
to actual Venice.
Real
actually.
on. Okay,
It was for
now.
AC Milan
He was
soccer
like
camp.
doing
Oh,
the
really?
gondolas and stuff.
Yeah. We did get on one.
Marina Del Rey.
Literally.
I want to go to Italy so bad.
Yeah.
Isn't pepperoni an Italian word? So
Oh.
why would they not have it?
Pepperoni.
Yeah, like I was so confused. I was like, oh, you guys don't have pepperoni. Okay. Like I was like, they got mad. They're like, we don't know what that is. Like I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, but I understand because it's just like coming into, we American, we take everything, we change it,
Make it
ours.
better though.
Nah,
like
cap.
that New York slice though.
Some people think that.
Come on, tell me that's not the best.
Yo,
For $1?
I think
It's
New
like
York pizza
$1.50
is
now.
the best.
It's
Like,
I
but
just
like,
had it.
Chicago
go
people,
back.
like people, my Chicago friends, like no, Chicago. I've had Chicago pizza. I've had New York. New York
Have you
pizza's
had-
way better than me.
Detroit pizza.
I'm weak.
Wait. Have you
She's
had
talking
Detroit?
mad shit right now.
Oh, we gotta get you on the Detroit pizza.
That's that knockoff.
She's
New
like,
York.
what's,
it
what's
looks like
Detroit
the-
pizza?
It's like the grandma slices.
I want to taste that. Yeah, I'm down.
You know the grandma
Listen,
like the square slices.
It's not, we should like.
square.
How
Like
good of
mid-dish.
an idea would that be for us? Just like so, like whatever, someone to travel. Oh, I just try different pizzas at different places.
That'd be great.
Not the healthiest.
I
But.
think Dave Portnoy beat us to that.
Oh really? He did that already.
Barstool. He does pizza
Yikes.
reviews, but it would be a cool like maybe for shawarma.
Oh, that's a good idea.
But then what's his name does that too actually.
Trying different
Nasser?
shawarma. That's kind of a
Nasser.
good idea. Ooh, that would be bomb.
Yeah, huh?
Speaking of
Yeah.
Have you
food,
had the shawarma that just opened up in LA? The best one.
Which one?
Sincerely Syria / Hollywood
you
shawarma.
must have had
Oh
that.
my God! Hold up.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
did.
That's
You
in
like
your-
it?
Yeah,
It's
the one in
fire, right?
Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally live right.
For real?
That's so funny.
It's bomb.
Yeah,
We know
it's pretty
those
good.
guys.
I just
They're
had it.
really, really nice. Oh, that's number one now?
Yeah, oh,
Wow.
yeah. To
Oh
me.
my God, they're so nice
Yeah,
too.
so yeah,
That's
they
so
are.
good. Oh my God, I love seeing
They
that.
used to have one on
Yeah, shout
Hollywood
out
Boulevard.
Chef Adham. Go ahead.
Yeah, that
This
was
guy
really
loves saying
good.
people's names.
Shout
out.
You gotta shout
Community,
them out. Come
man.
Shout
on.
out Abdullah,
It's
the
a
guy
good-
that cuts the shawarma off the thing.
Nah, that's it's Hispanic.
Shout
the
out
guy.
Yusuf, the guy that takes out the
Yeah.
trash.
You're so-
Did they think you were Italian in Italy?
Honestly, like,
Sicilian, probably.
yeah, but like, I definitely have the Mediterranean look, so they
Yeah.
definitely were like, But then once I start opening my mouth, I need to learn. I wish I could learn every language so that when I go to the country, they just like accept me fully. Because once you don't speak Italian, they're like, don't like you. Like they're like, you're American. Like get out. But I understand because I'm just like, okay, I get it. Like we're not, it's respectful to learn your language. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like going if we go to the Middle East and we don't speak Arabic, they're gonna like,
Right.
they're gonna take advantage.
And charge you double.
Or like whatever,
Yeah.
or they're gonna be mad, like like respect, like learn our
Yeah.
language, but whatever.
I'm curious. When you are in another country, do you introduce yourself as American or as like Middle Eastern?
I think a little bit of, I think both. It just depends. Like I think, when people ask me, I guess American first when they ask, but then when they're like, oh no, what are you? Like, what's
Yeah,
your background? And I'm like, oh yeah, Middle Eastern, Arab, like
Got it, got it, yeah.
So
Where
yeah,
you from?
yeah, where you from? Yeah, yeah, literally.
From.
I think that's a good segue. Talking about like your background, we know that Inez X like in
Inez.
Inez X,
Right?
right?
Yes.
Okay, so but we're gonna talk. We were talking about the
we
Arabic
were
versus
talking
like
about
the okay.
Is that your
How do you
actual
say? How would you
name?
say Inez?
Yeah.
I
No,
say
my
Inez.
real name. Yeah. Well, in Arabic it's Inas.
Yeah.
But in English it's Inez.
Yeah.
I've been saying that forever, just because, like, as soon as I started going to elementary school, like, I changed it to Inez because like Inas.
It's hard
like,
to say.
Yeah, it's a little hard to say,
Yeah.
even though it's 4 letters, and I always
How do
like.
people mispronounce it?
Man, I literally can't. Like, I remember in high school.
Let's go. How many different
I never
ways?
like, because I never got like, like I was always like pretty like, like I was always really nice, but I was always like popping, but like I remember in high
Low-key
school,
flex.
but I never experienced bullying
Yeah.
until this happened. Like literally, like it was like they like were making fun of my name, and it was like because it's Inas, it's Inas,
Yeah.
but they'll be like Inas, you know what I mean? Because it's INAS.
They make
It's
that's
INAS.
strange.
Kids will find a way, man.
Yeah,
Kids
so
will find
and it would be like the boys, who have like crush or whatever, in us, you know what I
wow.
mean, like some white boys or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm like, lame, like so it's like whatever, but because obviously I would say Inez, so people would think it would be spelled INEZ or INES, like the Spanish way or whatever, but like and I love the way Spanish people say my name because they say Ines, which is almost like Inas, and I love the way Arabs say Ines, but then like when sometimes when
There's literally a rapper called Nas, right?
well yeah.
Yeah, they should know.
Literally.
With the X too, right?
Literally, there's Lil Nas X and there's Nas. Yeah, literally. But
like you were there first.
literally. But no, like not before Nas, of course. But yeah, Lil Nas.
Little Nas.
Yeah, literally. So I feel like, but my real name is that, you know. And then with the X, like my last name was changed when I was 16 to my stepfather's last name, so we can all have the same last name and stuff. And then I just didn't like that, and I didn't like his name, and like, you know, we didn't whatever. So I just like didn't want that. So when I started doing music, I was like, oh, what am I gonna name myself? And my name is Inez or Ines, and then I was like Inez X. So Inez X became like the thing. So, but like it's interesting because when I meet a lot of Arabs, they're like, well, why don't you just call yourself Ines? Just do it, like just Ines. And I'm like, because I love it. But then some people will say it and they'll say it crazy, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You know,
because we were basically like touching on the fact like everyone knows that outside persona, but like, have you had a chance to really talk about like you, like anything that's different than maybe people see portrayed on social media?
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because I feel like I built this persona, like the Inez X persona, but I feel like I've been really wanting people to get to really know, you know, just Inez and just like who I really am, or Ines, like, you know. Of course, my family calls me Ines. They know me like the best. Like, I'm a very like family-oriented person, so I feel like I love my family. I love all the things, and I want people to see me the way they see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like the real me. So I've been trying to like really open up more and like, you know, speak more, talk more, you know, things like this, so that people can hear your voice. 'Cause I think nowadays it's really important about hearing your voice, and I feel like, you know, I have so many things I'm passionate about and I care about, so I think people need to like hear
People
that.
resonate with the real stuff, the raw stuff. You know?
Literally, the real stuff. But it's like, because it's like when I first started doing music, like somebody would tell me, like, you know, I remember somebody telling me, like, you're a brand, like you're like a chocolate bar, like everything about you is for sale, like, you know what I mean? So I had to differentiate Inez X from Inez, you know, Ines, you know, like, and there's even Inez, like, you know, my friends know, and there's Ines, who my family knows. Like, there's like, you kind of have to play different roles in different occasions, different settings, but I feel like I had to separate the persona, the artist, from like who I really am, you know, because it becomes to be too much, you know? Especially
because you're using your actual name as an artist. It's become more common now.
Right.
But,
like Lil Nas X, his real name is like Montero. Like, you know what I mean? Like my real name, like that's my real name. Like it is a little harder to differentiate because it's like, well, that is who you are, but it's like at the same time, this is a persona, a brand, this is a whole thing. Like it's a whole entity. Like this Inez, who I am on a daily basis. And it's interesting because people, when they meet me and they get to know me, and it's like, I'm still, like, obviously, you're still human. And you'll see artists say that all the time, like, I'm just a human.
And you're a cool human, too.
Right, like, I'm cool.
That's what I'm saying. When I saw you, like, meeting you and then seeing you online, I'm like, oh, like, I see how the online is, like, kind of, it's curated, there. Yeah, it's curated. Right. And then, like, who you are is, like, cool. And then, like showing a little bit of that. That's why I wanted, you know, you to come on here, because like you got a cool personality, and like people need to hear that, and people need to know, like, yo, I'm from New York. I got all these little parts of me.
Literally.
So what does Ines do when she wakes up on a Tuesday? You know, like what's a regular day for you?
Studio.
I know every day is so different. Like it literally is.
Let's ask the friend. Let's ask the friends.
I know, literally.
Let's ask Frank.
Every morning, literally.
She calls me when she wakes up.
Like, we have to do this. What are we doing?
What's the normal wake up time? Do you sleep in?
Oh, no, I don't. I wake up at like 6, 7 a.m.
Wow.
Every day.
Lucky.
You post some workout stuff too. Like, is that like when you work out?
I work out every day. I just started posting again, working out, because you know, like for a while, I was like, oh, but this is like, I was like, for motivational purposes only. But yeah, like I work out every morning. I mean, I literally like have like my morning like routine. Like I have to like.
Have to.
Yeah, like literally. And then there's like, obviously, unfortunately, there's like the social media part that's come in, talking, calls, all the things. But like I have to work out. I try to meditate every morning. I wake up really early. I'm like an early bird. That's like, because like I'm like permanently on East Coast time, like, you know, so like coming to LA, having a 3-hour difference, I never got used to it. Like literally, like I wake up 6, 7 every day and I can't do anything about it. And it sucks. It doesn't suck because I take advantage of it, but like some days I'm like, oh, I just want to sleep in. I can't, like literally.
Because 6 a.m. here it's already 9.
It's already 9, 10. Yeah, like
10,
6, 7 here is like 9, 10 over there. So like, I'm just like, and then, you know, because, you know, in America, you know, obviously we go to school and then like we wake up at 6 in the morning and at 6 in the morning, East Coast time is like So I'm like
3 in the
super,
morning.
yeah, like my, and then it's like, programming, which I like never tried to reprogram myself when I came out here because I was like, that's a good thing. Like, take advantage of it. So I do. The only thing is I go to sleep really early, and then the music industry things happen really late. So sometimes when I do things really late and then I wake up really early, like there's not much sleep. And as I get like older, like sleep is everything. I'm like, I'm not playing around with this because I'm trying to be like.
These bags are Gucci.
Because they say like black don't crack, but Arab don't crack either. You know what I'm saying?
And it don't, clearly.
Literally, like.
How is New York different than LA? How would you describe it to people?
Reloaded, no?
Wait, what?
I'm just saying there's a lot that you could.
She can go wherever she wants with it. There's a lot of different things, like the vibe of the people. I feel like when I was in New York last week, I could just like walk down the street and not care and like feel like I'm in a music video and like I feel like your uniqueness is appreciated.
The world is your oyster in New York.
Yeah, right?
When I go to New York, I see that everyone just has the blinders on and they're just like running to their next destination and so
the locals.
Literally.
Yeah,
that's good though.
Which one do you resonate with more? Like,
I mean, it's so crazy. It's really insane. I love both so much. Like, I'm a New York girl for life. Like, so I was born in Brooklyn and I moved to Connecticut when I was like 13. So I experienced a super urban city life, and then I experienced a super suburban country.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I experienced both, which is why like I have both. So I appreciate it. At the time I like hated
like Greenwich area.
No, like a little bit more north, like a small town. Like it was like I went from big city to small town. So I experienced both, which I'm really thankful for now, because like I feel like I can like talk and get along with anyone. Like because when I went back to New York, because I went back, I did an internship at Def Jam when I was like 18. Like so I moved back to New York. And when I moved back to New York, like I only spent like from 13 to 18 in Connecticut, but those were like important years, teenage years. Yeah, very much so. So I like, and at the time I was so angry, but then when I moved back to New York, it was so like, New York is so grungy and so like, so I'm happy that I got both and I experienced like some of my childhood in Connecticut because I feel like in New York you see a lot. So for me, I love New York so much. Like, it's everything to me. It's a city that made me. It's a city that, like, I love the East Coast, period. Like, I'm an East Coast girl. But, like, when I came to LA the first time, I just fell in love. Like, it was like, I fell in love with the fact that it was, like, a warmer East Coast. Like, with palm trees everywhere. Like, I was like, there's palm trees everywhere.
There's so much to do, like, in terms of
why is that such an aesthetic vibe?
The aesthetic is everything to me in LA.
Yeah.
It's the sickest aesthetic ever. Like, there's no other state in America like California. And it's gorgeous. Like, California is the most beautiful state to me. Like, you have, like, the desert. I literally shot, like, Cuff You Up. It literally looks like I'm in Dubai. Yeah. That's in Cali.
That wasn't in Dubai?
That's in Cali. Like, that's in Cali, the sand dunes. So awesome. You got, like, the desert, you got the beach, you got the, you got the mountains, you got the snow, you got everything all in one, So I love that about LA so much. Like, the landscape, the structure, because it's, like, it's spread out, there's more space. But, like, I feel like, New York structure and landscape is super sick, too.
It is.
So I love both about
jungle.
those. Yeah, and I feel like I am a New York girl in my essence. I'm a real girl. I'm very real. I like to keep it real. And, like, everybody that I meet from L.A. is, like that, Yeah. But, like, a lot of people not from LA that are trying to be something else that they're not. It's a little, it gets old.
Right.
Or, like, obviously the superficiality and the fakeness is really old in LA. Yeah. Everybody hates that. Right. But I feel like because everybody hates it and people are aware of it, I feel like we're all consciously like, nah, we don't want that. So, like, we don't want to be a part of that aesthetic or that, you know what I mean? Like, standard, which I appreciate. Because when I first moved to LA, I was like, I can't take this. Yeah. Like, I'm moving back. And, like, a lot of my friends moved out here at the same time with me and they moved back.
Really?
But I feel like I love the weather so much and I feel like you find your real people, you know what I mean? So like I feel like both of them have their good and their bad, you know, because New York is too much go, and that's exhausting to the spirit, So I feel like they both have their pros and their cons, but I constantly weigh the pros and cons out because I forever love New York, but my mom just moved here, so I think it's official, like LA it is
cemented.
But I do want eventually a spot in both again because I love it.
So when you were moving to Connecticut and back and forth, it was with your mom?
Yeah, my mom. Well, the family. We moved to Connecticut as a teenager. Okay. Yeah, because my mom wanted to be more in the suburban life to raise the family and stuff.
Because you mentioned the like, has your stepfather been in your life like your whole life?
Yeah. I didn't have like the best stepfather, like situation. Yeah. But like I didn't know my father. So like my father was like Muslim and my mom was Christian and my stepfather was Muslim. Yeah, my mom and father were both Palestinian, Lebanese and Jordanian, like too. But like I did my older brother did his ancestry, and I'm like 86% Levant, you know, like 14% other like African miscellaneous countries and stuff. But like, so yeah, like basically that whole region. But my parents, my mom and dad were, like pretty much 100% from Palestinian, moved to New York, had me and my older brother. And then, you know, like it like obviously it was just too much, like Romeo and Juliet story, like super, you know, like her, you know, like coming from a Christian family and my dad coming from a Muslim family. It was very tolling towards their families. You know what I mean?
My parents are the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My mom's Muslim and my dad's Christian.
Oh my goodness.
Lebanese, yeah.
So interesting. So you understand?
I do.
Yeah. So it's really interesting because now as an adult I appreciate all these things, but as a kid I hated it. Like as a kid I was so confused. Like it was so confusing. Like I went to Catholic school a few years when I moved to Connecticut. So I went like literally. I was like, because we didn't have much when I lived in Brooklyn, like we didn't have anything. And my mom, she's a self-made boss woman. And like, you know, she started a business when I was a teenager, started doing well. We moved to Connecticut and we still were like extremely well off, but it was better. You know, we were good. So like I experienced both of those and I experienced both of the religions and I experienced both being from the eastern part of the world, but being on the west.
Right.
So I always felt like both. And as a kid, I always felt confused, like in the middle. Like I was confused. Like I don't understand. Like,
well, you got to pick a side.
Yeah, you got to pick a side all the time. But now I feel like as an adult, I love that because I feel like it gave me the range. Right. And now I can like, you know what I'm saying? Understand so many people, talk to so many people, relate to so many people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Broadens your horizons and just allows you, as you said, to like broaden your range and stuff.
Like literally. So like as a child, I was like, oh, I hate this. But now as an adult, I'm like, wow, I love this. Cause
funny how
like,
that works. We always hate what we like as a kid, and then we really appreciate it.
And as an adult, you're like, oh, I get it. I get why she like did all this and we did all this, you know? So
your mom was a boss then. She was an entrepreneur. She was a successful Arab woman in America.
Yes.
Is probably.
Yes, she is. She is. She's a boss.
And she just moved to LA.
Yes, yes.
Does that have anything to do with you being a successful Arab woman in America?
Literally, my mom is like everything. Yeah, my mom is my everything. She's like, I don't know about you guys, but my mom is like my everything.
Sure.
Literally.
Shout out mama.
I mean, if we don't say it, we'll probably get killed. So.
I think we're all like
incoming slipper.
Incoming slipper. Not the ship. Oh, no.
Shahab.
Wait, I gotta say shout out to my dad too, because one time I did an interview and I was like, my mom told me this, and he's like, what about me, bro? I told you that I let my mom like took me to all these camps and all that, and he's like, my dad's like, well, I let her take you. So
oh wow, like
red flag.
No, not even like that. My dad would work like 2 jobs, and
someone had to pay for it.
Yeah, someone had to pay for it.
I walk up the hill both ways to make the money.
He just wants a little bit of credit. Yeah, making all the money.
Literally,
it's funny.
Literally, you know.
So talking about that, was Arabic like? Did you speak Arabic at home early on?
Arabic was my first language.
Okay.
We basically like taught my mom English kind of thing. Like
nice.
she moved
so that she could talk to you.
Yeah, literally. We would go to.
This is pre-Duolingo, right?
Yeah, literally, yeah, you know, because we would go to school, we would come back speaking all this English, and then my mom would pick up, and then she would watch soap operas and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like all those kinds of things. But yeah, I mean, for me, like Arabic was like the only spoken language for like first 3-4 years of my life. So it's my first language technically. So like I pick it up. Like my khalti, she came from Amman actually. She lives in Jordan. And I told her, I was like, I only speak to me in Arabic. This is like, I was like 13, like 14, like after we moved to Connecticut, and I was just like, you know, like it was obviously us growing up as kids, it was like hard in America. Like, you know, I used to say I was like literally Palestinian and Puerto Rican just to kind of make it sound a little bit like, you know, better, you know what I mean? But like literally like I was like, you know, like I, you know, and I met a lot of people that would do that. And even in my, like in the music industry, people do that. Like I don't do it anymore. I'm like, you know, this is what I am. People still do it. And I'm like, wow, okay, I know you're 100%, but it's fine, you know? But I feel like, like Arabic was so important to me, like as a child even, like, cause I would be like, I would hate not understanding or whatever, or picking it up. So once she started speaking to me only Arabic, I picked it all back up. And then now, like, مقصر شوي, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, it's just like I don't practice enough, I don't speak it enough. And it's like you have to you have to speak it.
Time to practice right now.
All right, 10 seconds. 10 seconds of just Arabic.
Yalla.
Okay.
No, I love the Lebanese accent so much. Oh my God.
When you go to Lebanon, and you have to only speak Arabic, like
طبعاً,
it just
you have to.
sharpens it a little bit more.
Literally.
But yeah, no, it's hard to keep it. It's hard to maintain the Arabic.
Actually, one of our comments.
If you don't use it, you lose
on our
literally.
podcast, like on YouTube or something. He was saying like,
All three of you guys can probably put one Arabic sentence.
no, not. I mean,
Thank
there's some trolling, but there's people are requesting that we speak more Arabic too.
Yeah.
So because we are
mean-
tapping into that.
طيب بتروحي على عمان انك بتسافري على
انا ما رحتش
ما رحتي؟
لسه ما رحتش
وين
لا
رحتي؟
لا لا.
وين رحتي؟
انا رحت على مصر
اوكي
بحب مصر
إيه ده
كتير
كده؟
مصر حلوة.
لا
زيك.
لا
عاملة إيه؟
ازيك يا مزة يا مزة
مصر
والله أحلى ناس.
مصر ام الدنيا.
ازيك يا literally وكمان like انا like ما رحتش على فلسطين ما رحتش على لبنان ما رحتش بس
ولا أنا.
دبي؟
I love the Palestinian
لا،
ish.
ما رحت.
ما رحتش.
لا ما رحتش
Yeah,
لا
that's good. That's
الفلسطين
nice.
كمان
Yeah,
yeah.
Palestine.
we're like
When I was watching
لبنان like
yeah.
شوية دلوعة يعني الدلوعة يعني cute it's like cute I love it
شو هيدا؟
شو هيدا I love that
We're the light skin of the Arab
yeah
community for sure.
literally شو هيدا I love that though
You
literally
like it, like for a
No, I
man to
love
speak
it.
with that?
I love the Lebanese. I love the Lebanese accent. I mean, like growing up, I grew up like my stepfather. His family was Egyptian too. His mom's side. So like, I always heard the Egyptian like accent, and it's so different from Palestine. You know what I mean? Like it's just so.
I
different.
like it. Egyptian
I
is my
love
favorite.
it. Izzayak, Izzayak. You
And
know.
the ja and the ga have
Yeah,
always
like my mom,
threw
like
me off.
everybody calls my mom Molly. That's like her American name, but her name is Majda. But like they would say Magda.
Magda, yeah.
Magda, and
It's
I'd be
my
like,
aunt's name.
oh
She's in
Magda,
Egypt too,
literally,
yeah.
oh yeah, like literally, yeah Magda, and I'm like literally like, but you know, it's like Majda, so it's like it's just fun. Like I always love seeing like hearing the different accents
Yeah.
and stuff.
And Lebanon is so small, but there's so many different accents even within Lebanon.
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
My
Depending on where
aunt,
you're
my
at.
mom's sister married a Lebanese guy, so that I heard the like young lingo. They came and I heard the lingo, like, and I just loved it because he's like, and like the Lebanese is just like I always like resonated most like the Hollywood of the Middle
Yeah,
East.
talking about that.
Like literally, I love it because I
did
always love like all of that.
Yeah, did you emulate any of the like pop stars from like Nancy Ajram? and-
Nancy, like I love Nancy so much. I mean, I feel
And
like
Haifa.
Haifa. Like I feel like Haifa was more of like my aesthetic and my look for sure, my vibe. She was like she was like the super bad girl,
Sultry.
sultry bad girl, and I love that because like she was like breaking barriers, and I loved it. You know, because obviously like I feel like they're really strict on our women. Right. You know what I mean? But I feel like other current day women like we want to be free. You know what I mean? So like we want to do what we want, where we want, just like everybody else. Like we shouldn't be more controlled or suppressed just for whatever reasons, like so I think like I always loved the groundbreaking people, but Nancy Ajram, like I literally like yeah da 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 da
So many bops.
like literally like I love Nancy so much. I literally listen to Nancy like literally some days I'll just have a Nancy day,
Yeah.
because she was like the Beyonce for our people, I feel like, in a way. But I always wanted to see our people cross over, always. Like, it was always a thing. I was always like, oh, I hope that she can,
Somebody just collabed with Marshmello, one of them.
I think Nancy.
Was it Nancy?
Nancy,
Yeah, one of
I think Nancy.
That was pretty funny to see that.
I know, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, okay, I love this.
We've had this conversation on the podcast before, but you kind of touched on it. So like as an Arab woman in this entertainment industry, do you feel that pressure to observe those more traditional values? Do you get pushback from your audience, or is it something that you've been able to, being American, being able to kind of be independent of?
I think that it's constantly something I definitely try to navigate, like I feel like, because we're still breaking in mainstream culture and pop culture, I think that it is a lot of it is new stuff.
Yeah.
And for us, it might not be like new, but it might be like new for the American culture. But me being an American, I can understand both sides. So I can see things and be like, I love it because sometimes I'm like, oh, well, that's a little too foreign. And, like, and I can like resonate because I'm an American.
Right.
But then sometimes I'm like, oh, well, like as an Arab woman, like that's not authentic. So it has to be both. Like if someone's giving me a sound and it's not an authentic sound of like something that will really be like, oh, that's not Middle Eastern. That's like more that. So I love having both of those perspectives, but it is something I'm constantly trying to navigate because it's mostly the Middle Eastern side. You know what I mean? Like, especially now that I am like appealing to our culture and our side more, like, it's a very strict culture.
Yeah.
You know? Especially on the women. You know what I mean? And I was raised more Muslim. Like, my mom's side of the family was Christian, but obviously in Islam we go with the father. So like, I was raised more Muslim, but like I resonated more with Christianity because it was more free to me and more open. And like, I just like, I love all the religions so much because I love God so much. I like pray in a church, mosque, synagogue just to connect with God, you know? But I feel like for me, it's hard to navigate the two because I feel like as an American, I feel so many ways about things. But then as an Arab woman, I feel so many ways about things. So I think I try to just constantly use both of those perspectives and just like weigh it out. You know what I mean? And it honestly only sometimes become like a thing when it's like on the Arab side because it's just like, yeah, like I'm a little provocative to some of the Arab people or whatever it may be, but like I've cleaned it up a lot, you know what I mean? Because in America, there is no such thing, you know what I mean? Provocative is the thing, you know what I mean?
Sells,
yeah, it's what sells, and I mean, like, I'm a naturally, like, confident, like, I know myself woman, and, you know, in our culture, like, in the Arab culture, that's, like, you know, like, it's not a thing.
It's not
you
celebrated.
Know? It's not celebrated, it's frowned upon, so, but I think it's a revolution, like, and the women, like, we need more freedom. And growing up, I always loved and resonated with, like, I had an aunt that was like, you know, like, when the men would eat first, she would just be like, no, no, you're not eating first before, like that, you know. And I always loved that energy because I'm like, yeah, like, true equality, you know, and truly, like, praising the woman, you know what I mean? And I would always love seeing, like the Christian Arabs sometimes, like, or the Muslim Arabs or whatever religion, but just like that really praise their women more than kind of like try to suppress the women. Because I constantly saw the suppression or experienced that. And I would always be like, no, I'm going to do what I want. Like I was like a rebel, but I've kind of become from a rebel to like, this is like, I'm an empowered woman now. So I feel like
in the beginning,
people.
you felt like maybe it was a kind of a rebellious phase that
I feel like it was more rebellious, especially for like the culture. Like, no, I'm gonna do it because like they're saying no, and I'm saying yes.
Right. Yeah.
But
That was the
now,
motivation,
you know, it was the motivation behind a lot of things, especially like being more sexual and sensual. Because I feel like for our women, you know, haram, kul shi haram aslan. But like, I was like, I grew up haram, and drilled in my head. And it's like, that really messed me up because it was just like, everything I do is a sin. I'm not going to heaven. God is unhappy with me. And I couldn't live like that. So just freeing that mindset has
Parents
like really
don't realize
me.
that. They don't. The more you constrict the kid and suffocate them, the more they're going to go on the other extreme. Because I've had that. I was about to ask you because I kind of relate because I went to Miami, did model, like I was in bathing suits and stuff, and my parents were freaking out about that and stuff. So they, you know, my dad's a surgeon, so he's like, this is what you have to do kind of thing.
Right.
It's definitely gotten a lot better, but I wanted to know kind of like your experience with your parents in the beginning as well.
Yeah, it was really hard in the beginning. Like literally, it was so hard. Like my mom, like, is the most important person in my life, and now she's my biggest supporter. She's my backbone, my partner, and all this. But for a while, she was not supportive of any of it. I was going to school to be a doctor, like most of us. You already know. Doctor or lawyer, you already know.
Yeah,
but,
engineer too.
You already know. But like, I was always really book smart to impress her, and like, I just feel like it wasn't doing it. And like, you know, I feel like I was like, I gotta be a doctor to impress her. I gotta do it. And when I started doing that, I was so unhappy. So I like quickly I like always loved doing music and being creative and all the things. And I was like, finally, like, I'm just gonna do this. When I told her, I remember she like cried. And I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. It took her a couple years until I like started like, you know, we're meeting the Timberland camp and like doing things and like, you know, real things. She was like, oh, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
And then everybody that, you know, everybody came out the woodwork because they were all talking shit in the beginning. You know what I mean? They were all like,
that's how it is.
Oh, they were calling me all the names. You already know all the names, but I was just like, oh my God, you know. But then after I was on radio and started doing things, they were just like, oh my God, they called my mom like, she's on radio. She's on this thing. You already know. My mom is just like, oh my God. So now, like, it's like it worked out, but in the beginning, it was really hard, like really, really hard.
Yeah.
Like,
It's hard to impress them.
Well, it's good
so
that it came for you early too, the success. So you didn't have to. You probably got her approval back relatively quickly.
Yeah, it was, you know what? It took like probably about 2-3 years, which at the time it was like the hardest 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I went through all of the things. Like I was like broke.
Right.
I was like, you know, I moved back to New York. She didn't support it. I had to move out. She didn't support that because, you know, being Middle Eastern, moving out before marriage, haram.
Right.
So I was just like, I'm going though. Like I got to do this. I got to pursue my dreams.
Yeah.
And it just like at the beginning, it was just so difficult because like I wanted her support. Like I need you. Like I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what to do. And I was like really lost, but I feel like that adversity made me find my way and then built that hustler mentality. And then because I saw her always being a hustler and figuring it out, she wound up becoming, you know, my biggest inspiration in that sense too. So I think like it works out. And I think like when she started giving me that trust and she started really giving me that, it like gave me so much more of what I needed. Like I couldn't do it without her support. So I feel like parents need to support their kids no matter what. Because, like, and then if you taught your kids the right way, they're going to stay good. Like, I've stayed on the right path, you know?
Does she still critique you? Like, I think
oh, my God.
Be like, this is,
you already know Arab moms. You already
my mom texted me once. She was like, I was watching this video and you were flirting with this girl. Why are you flirting? I'm like, I didn't say anything.
Literally,
like, you know the kind of content I could be making?
The other day, she was just like, come on, you know your culture, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh my God, Mom. Like, can
I
we
think
not?
the phrase that kept being brought up was like the sure thing. You know what I mean? They come here, they escape war, they escape, you know, they try to give us a better life. So when their kid is like, I want to be an actor, they're like, they freak out because that's not the stability. We've talked about this on a previous episode, and the stability.
Literally.
I think it comes from the idea that, you know, this kind of thing is not stable, and the sure thing is the white collar job that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like for Arabs, music was haram for like a while, for a long time.
Still in the comments.
I mean,
literally, music is haram to a lot of Arabs, a lot. So
what do you think?
I mean, I think it depends on the type of music you.
That's exactly it. But they don't. A lot of Arabs are very much so like it's that that mindset.
Well, no, just
not necessarily
strict.
fundamental.
Just
but-
strict. Just
a lot of
strict.
Muslims are strict. A lot of Christians are strict.
And they're like, you know, and
that's real. I mean, there's a part of that, you know, religion and people that like really follow it to the T.
100%. And I
there's
don't
a whole
judge that.
spectrum.
Like I appreciate those people too. But I feel like at the end of the day, like for me, I think that, you know, like I don't like to judge others or whatever, and I don't appreciate when people judge me. So I'm like, all right, don't judge me because, you know.
Yeah.
But we are a very judgmental
Oh yeah.
clan.
The
people.
most.
Like the most. Literally, that's the thing.
Yeah.
But I like appreciate it now though too, because I do feel like there's a level of, I understand it more, I guess,
No,
you
for
know?
sure.
Because like when I was younger, I'd be like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do. But then now I'm like, all right, there is a level of like, you know, like I want to like, you know, as you get older, you're like, all right, let me respect myself.
Right,
Right? I get what you're saying. But then sometimes it's like, all right, like chill out.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to set your own boundaries and find out what you're comfortable with. But yeah, there is the aspect of when you're representing, like you see in what's happening today, and like obviously with the atrocities in Palestine. I've been getting a lot of posts on my page talking about the entertainers that are not mentioning anything about Palestine, like the ones that are successful.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, if you want to align with our culture, you got to align with it when it's good and when it's bad.
Yeah.
So there is that kind of level of expectation that when you are an Arab or a Middle East, you know, West African, I guess Middle Eastern is not a good term anymore because it's like
Oh, it's
West
not?
Asian.
Eurocentric.
Oh, it's not?
Middle
Oh,
East
I
compared
didn't
to
know
what
that.
is the argument?
Okay.
Like
Got
compared
that.
to the West.
Okay, I got that.
But it's
Anyhow.
like you don't have to represent like.
Can't say
I've
Middle
had-
Eastern anymore.
I've had people
God.
comment like, "You're Lebanese, you should know better," and it's like, well, I am not the Lebanese representative. Also,
all
it's
of,
like
yeah.
I'm just a
But
Lebanese
it's just
American.
like a balance of like being yourself, but also paying respect
Right.
to the culture that you're part of.
100%.
Like if you used the Arab culture to become famous, and then
Right.
when they need you and you don't use
you
it
don't use it,
to help, that's
Yeah.
that's
So
where the problem is.
That's one aspect of it, but I guess in this context of like the heritage and the traditions, and so for you doing the kind of music that you do and kind of the modeling that you do, then I'm sure it's difficult to kind of navigate and find out where you should.
And you know what's also difficult? It's also like I think with nowadays too, because everything going on in Palestine has been going on like our whole lives. my whole life and beyond. Like my mom went through the war, like, and it's terrible, you know? So it's like, it's really hard, and really with that conflict, it's different than every other conflict to me. Like this is the Holy Land, you know, and everybody wants it, you know, and they're making it very unholy to keep it, you know what I mean? And I feel like I am Palestinian. Like there's nothing I can do about that. I can't change that, you know? So like me being a Palestinian woman, I love my roots. I love my people. And I like wish that I can like save all the people, all my people, all the people suffering and dying. Like it's all I wish and all I want. And I think that that's so many of what we want.
Right.
But like, you know, there's so many people in power that don't want that. And there are people who want to see the world burn, but nobody I have in my life wants that. Like everybody in my life is super pro-Palestine and pro-love and pro-people. And like, we don't want to see our people die. I don't want to see my people die anymore. I've been seeing it my whole life. I got into music so that I can have a voice.
Yes.
And like, as a Palestinian woman, it has not been easy. Like I've lost opportunities. I've lost, just by saying I'm Palestinian, I've lost opportunities. People will like not want to work with me and like not look at me. And I'm not even like, I'm pro-love. I love all of my Jewish, Muslim, Christian brothers and sisters. Like I'm not even like that. Like, you know, I just like, but they, just because I'm that.
Yeah.
So it's been really hard.
Right. I want to get into that more. I want to hear more about those.
Existence is
really
resistance.
Hard. And that's really hard. It's really hard to like not get opportunities or not get things just because of who you are.
Right.
You know, and like I've had to work harder because like I'm Palestinian, and that's like it's not like a plus. Like at some point, like we're like second class citizens almost. Like at some point, it's like we're like bottom of the totem pole. Like how?
Right.
Like our ancestors is from royalty. Like my ancestors is royal. My ancestors goddesses and gods. Like you know what I mean? Like from our land. Like you know we like all of the things. All of our people have done the craziest and most amazing things. Yeah. So it's been really hard because it's like even as an American, like. After 9/11, like all Arabs were terrorists. And like growing up as a child, that's why I used to say I was like Palestinian and Puerto Rican, because it was so hard. People would like judge you, or like me, I'm like, I would experience some of the racism for sure, like some of the, but like I would see like, you know, my aunts that would wear the hijab, or like on the Muslim side, like, you know, and then the brutality that they experienced because they wore the hijab. And it's like, really? Like, that's not the solution. Like, the solution is not fighting hate with hate. And like, you know, so it's been really hard. And I feel like that's why I'm so passionate about this. And I'm so adamant about having more of our people come in more power and positions of power and have more voices, because like we're here and we're still here. And we very much so deserve what everybody else is getting and more, all the opportunities and all the things. And I feel like, you know, as a Palestinian American woman and someone who's so like pro-love, and I love everyone so much, I would never want to get anyone angry, but like I love my people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love my people. Yeah. Like I love my people. Demi Palestine.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And you got to stand on that. There's like, nothing wrong with that.
I love my people. Like Demi Palestine. Yani Demi Palestine. There's nothing I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing, like literally, like there's nothing I could do about it. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do anything about it.
Nor do you want to, right?
Yeah, like I'm proud. But I feel like now it's like seeing all the things that's happening and how much it's gotten into pop culture now is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
It's kind of cool.
This is crazy.
It's kind of, well, cool is a way.
It's kind of,
it's good to see it kind of cross
it.
over. So unfortunately, so many people had to die for us to be seen, but we are at least now being seen. Yeah. And they haven't died completely in vain.
It went from being like, I would say in Palestine, and like Pakistan. Right. And now it's like, but now at least people know. Yeah. It just, I wish that it wouldn't have to be always so much conflict surrounding, you know what I mean? Right. And I do want to see a world where like the people are free, and I do in our lifetime I want to see that. You know, I want to be able to go back to the motherland, the full motherland, 100%. And be able to like experience it. 100%. You know, it's sad to be like, oh, as a Palestinian, I can't go back to my motherland if I say I'm Palestinian. I hate that for us, and I don't want that anymore. And obviously, I just want to be able to be like, this is like ethnic cleansing. You can't ethnic cleanse me. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
Not Inas, not
like,
Inas.
You know what I mean? Like you can't do that now. You know, and you can't ethnically cleanse our people because we're so strong. Like our blood is so like you know, and all of us, we're very much so that. Right. So, and I think that there's a power in that.
100%.
You know, and I think but there's still a way to do it where I still want to be very much so pro-love, because I love
100%.
like I have Jewish people in my life, I have Israeli people in my life, I have all the things. So I want to always like never offend anyone, but I just don't want to see my people dying anymore. That's all. Like, and I don't think any of us want that anymore.
Right. And I don't think those two things are at odds. And I think to those who think that us saying we want freedom, love, equality, and peace, anyone who's threatened by that is the problem.
Right.
It's not us for saying
those are the people that want to see the world burn.
Right.
And that's fine. Like, literally, that's fine. But, like, those people I don't have, like, I can't let that energy.
Right.
And I honestly, like, it, like, irks my spirit when I see these people who, like, those kinds of people have, like, power or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God.
It's like filled with hate. I think,
Yeah, like filled with hate or
hate.
just, like, or not acknowledging. Like, I don't like the people who aren't acknowledging it at all or, like, not, or, like, you know, like, let's not, like, overlook what's going on, though. You know what I mean? Like, our people are going through a genocide that's been happening our whole lives. No, but, like, no, and, you know, the thing is, it's not even that, because he's Palestinian. There's nothing he can do about that either, though. You know what I mean?
He could at least say free Palestine.
But my whole thing is, like, there's nothing I could do about the fact that I'm Palestinian. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least we have someone who's Palestinian in power.
Yeah.
You know? At least it's someone.
Nah,
if we
for
take
sure.
him out of power, who else do we have in power right now?
No, we want him in power. I think people just want to see, oh, you're Palestinian. We just want to see some sort of acknowledgement besides the occasional makluba that you eat.
And you know what? I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like that is it's a whole conversation because there's like people who like, you know, control these voices and it sucks because I'm sure he wants to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure he wants to, but it's so political and it's so like, you know, as an artist, it's like, I'm not a politician, you know?
Right.
And it's so hard because it's just like, why is it like this for us? I hate it so much because I'm like, why is it this political when it comes to our side? Like, it's crazy. And nobody else experiences this amount of politics where we can't even say the things without that even being like, oh my God, I can't even say that I like love my people. Hold on. Like,
no,
You get
whoa.
blacklisted, and then you get
he
blacklisted.
can't even say that. Like he can't even say that without everybody coming for him
sure.
now. You know what I mean? Or he might have
But,
partners and things that, you know, it's real complicated, you know?
I think that the times are changing though. People are way more outspoken.
It's the power of the people.
100%.
Right.
And I believe in the power of the people.
Yeah.
I believe in the power of the people more than the power of anything else.
Yeah.
And that the power of the people is the power of God. And I believe in the power of God. I am such a godly woman. I love God so much. And I feel like all God wants is for us to love each other and bring each other back together. Bring as many people back to God as possible. That's Muslim, Christian, Jewish. That is what God wants us to do. And I think that we don't want to be like, if you love God, you don't want to see any of your brothers and sisters dying or anything. So I think that those, like the people that I just like, am like, you know, like just all, like just the power of God, the power of the people. I believe in the power of the people because I've been loving it. I'm like, wow, the people are like
hundreds of
not
thousands,
playing around anymore. They're not
spoken.
playing around at all anymore. And I
Yeah.
love that so much because it makes me like always emotional because I'm like, wow, finally, you know what I mean? Like my favorite artist is like, you know, nowadays is somebody who's a very controversial artist. You know what I mean?
Who is it?
Like Kanye West.
Kanye West.
He's a very controversial artist. But I like controversial artists. But as a woman, I think we have like this thing where we do have the power of the, like just the softness of it.
Yeah.
So we can achieve with love.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that there is a way that we can like say things and also bring the people together in a more loving way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because why I love him is because he's for the people. And like we're for the people. I'm for the people. Like I'm all about the people. Like I'm for the people. This is why I do this.
Right,
You know.
right.
So I think that like I love that, but there has to be a way to do it so that we do it in a loving way.
Yeah.
And like you know, it's like I'm from Brooklyn. We do it like spread love. It's the Brooklyn way, you know. But
Yeah.
also where it's like because you don't want to see like when will it end?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, it's interesting that you bring up Kanye because obviously his little stint of his recent publicity happened before this conflict, but it was, and I think his approach was too abrasive and kind of, you know, Kanye, he'll go on the extreme of the opinion. But I mean, he was pointing out some things that maybe some people have experienced, you know, some artists
100%.
in the industry have
100%.
experienced. So I mean, I kind of want to go back to what you said, that you felt like there's certain opportunities you missed out on because of your heritage as a Palestinian woman. Can you tell us a bit more about any of those?
Well, I think that there is this like bigger agenda, you know what I mean, involved. And I think that it involves ethnically cleansing the Palestinian people, you know. And I don't even like to get too much into politics.
Yeah.
But I think that is a part of the agenda. And I think that, you know, if you say you're Palestinian, then you're going against the agenda because you're like, well, we're ethnically cleansing those people. What do you mean you're that?
Palestine doesn't exist.
Palestine doesn't exist. It never existed. Yeah. But that's what I am, and that's what my parents are. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, so it's like, I don't know. It's really weird because it's like, when you feel like you're going against that agenda, but if my agenda is love and pro-love and getting closer to God and doing this music stuff for that and for the people and for love. So if that goes against your agenda, then I'm sorry, we don't have the same agenda. You know what I mean? Then your agenda is, I don't know what's going on, but I don't like it.
You said you had a thing at Def Jam at one point?
Yeah.
And then they're under UMG, right?
Yeah.
So we know who runs certain, music labels and their agendas and stuff. So like, I feel like there is a, it's like they know that they can make money off of us, and then they're like, okay, this person's getting too big, having too much of a voice, then we're gonna have to shut them down.
And basically. I think that has to do with like a lot. That doesn't even now. It's like that isn't even just the Arabs or just the Palestinians. That's like. A lot of minorities and a lot of people who are like, like minorities, but the majority in the world, which is interesting. Yeah. The reason why they hit so hard is because there's a majority in the world. Like, there's like 1 billion Arabs, there's like 1 billion Indians, there's like 2 billion Asians. It's like, so the minorities in America is the majority in the world. Right. And I think that, like, you're right. And I honestly am feeling like it's through the power of the people that you get your positioning. And through that, because it's a business. And when something's working and making money, then they'll get behind it. You know what I'm saying? And then it has to be, you have to have your people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You also have to do it right, I feel like, because recently a lot of Arabs have been given like TV shows, like with Rami and Mo, and like my experience, starting acting when I was 15, there was nothing like that. So the people that get that first chance have to like do something good with it and like kind of approach it with love, like Mo Amr, he's Palestinian. He wrote a show about him being a refugee and not having a passport and all that, Rami about being Egyptian from New York. Like, getting in the door is the first thing. And then it's kind of like being you and your truest self and like leading with love so that other people can love you and understand that like, oh, I know her, she's Middle Eastern, and I don't really know that many Middle Eastern people, but now I have a good perception because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then when we do get big, we need people in power to put us on so that, you could go get signed by a like let's say DJ Khaled, Another Universe, like has his own label and he just like really leans into the Palestinian cause. And he's just at the top of he's the CEO and you could say whatever you want. You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about walking on eggshells. About, you know what I mean?
And I do see that happening soon.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of do have that now in the music industry. We do have Palestinians that are leading the way. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with Ghazi and Empire.
Yeah, of course.
He's a boss and he's independent.
I know Ghazi very well.
Yeah.
I love Ghazi.
Yeah.
Boss.
Yeah, he's a boss. Yeah, he is.
I just met him recently too and his team, and they're amazing. Like, they're very outspoken about our people. They're very successful in the industry.
Yeah, I've known Ghazi for years. He's been following my journey for a while. I love Ghazi. He's awesome.
More of that for sure.
Do you think you guys will ever do something together?
I think so for sure. I mean, like wherever we can, you know what I mean? Like wherever it makes sense. Like, I feel like.
And then we have Masari too with Universal Arabia, who we also recently just met.
Exactly.
So they're putting us on too in their own right, and he's very outspoken. Had a great conversation with him and Belly.
I love that.
Yeah, and they were talking about God and our people and. So it's nice to hear people that are big in the industry that still stick true to their roots.
Yeah, literally. True to our roots, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally, because then what are we going to do? I mean, it's definitely when you get on another level, the new levels, new devils, right? So it's just like anybody who's on another level, it's like, you got to like deal with some whole other stuff that we might not even be able to understand. But for me, forever repping.
And I think that I've seen a lot more, like even seeing, the reason why we even spoke to Belly is because he just opened his business in Melrose. Somewhere in
Zine. Yeah.
So like
Somebody
seeing
Arabic. Oh my gosh, I should have went.
It was dope.
Saw The Weeknd.
I met The Weeknd.
Oh my God, he was there?
Yeah, it was so random.
Wow.
I was like, I just walked up and then I was like, that's The Weeknd. And then he got up. He was like, what's up, bro? And I was like, do you know
Hi,
me?
I'm The Weeknd. Hiya.
The memes are true.
And then I saw Nav.
That's actually sick.
And then I saw Nav like poking his head behind, like, "Hey, what about me?" And I was like, "What's up, Nav?" That's
That's so cool.
'Cause I look up to those people. I love Belly. I love Nav. Like Brown Boy. You know.
Yeah, like the Brown Boy crossovers. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Toronto, the most diverse
shout out
city in the
Toronto.
world.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
it's the Habibis.
And I
too.
see
Habibti thing, you know.
the reason.
Adding the Habibti and
Habibti, you gotta put that. Come on now.
The reason why I even mention that is because hearing Arabic being used in these like almost like mainstream songs more is amazing to hear that too. So do you have any plans of doing that? Like possibly?
I mean, yeah, like I just, my thing is like I personally, I have my my own opinions about it all because I speak Arabic. I love singing. I love songs in Arabic and all the things. But I think like, in America, like, I love throwing in a word, 2 words, and a little bit. You know what I mean? I feel like they're really trying to like cross over our language too, which I love. You know what I mean? Like they're super adamant about like Universal Arabia only wants Arabic singing artists.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, which I love, but I personally think like as an American girl, and this is where my American girl perspective comes in. Like I want to sing in English. But I want to hear the sounds, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I want to hear maybe a word or two that can be like global, like,
maybe a
like
bridge.
inshallah, mashallah. Like that's what I did with like the Miss Pimpin' thing because I was like, I'm gonna keep winning, inshallah.
Hey.
Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like like things like that because I like the 1 word or like the 2 words or maybe a phrase.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have a song where I just said and I was just like. I put like "Ana betayak," but the way I did it was just like really like like
I think
sly.
that's how it starts, right?
Yeah, like exactly. Because I think I do want, of course, like I think so many of us want to hear our language cross over the way Spanish has, of course, But I think like honestly, I would be so happy with just our people alone just crossing over. Like that makes me the happiest.
I agree.
Whether you sing in Arabic or not, I love it because I love seeing artists that are doing it more.
Right.
But I think I just like am so like I just want to see us cross over. So
yeah.
however we can do it,
For
like
sure.
whether it's singing in Arabic or not, but like I definitely have been throwing in like a word, a phrase, like little here and there,
Yeah, I think we need both. We need the people that like sing in
Yeah.
Arabic and people that can speak to the rest of the
Both,
world,
yeah.
but then teach them our culture here
Exactly.
and there. Yeah.
We need both. We need it all. We
It's like
really
every
do.
time Drake drops the Arabic word, we're like, yeah.
Yeah, literally, we're like starving for representation, starving.
Speaking up, he recently signed the ceasefire agreement that is also calling specifically for stopping the killing of people in Gaza. So that was big to see him kind of taking, because there's another agreement circulating and that one's not so
I feel
friendly.
like he's super on our
was a fake one,
vibes.
though.
It's super this vibes, like super pro love. I feel like that from him.
Yeah.
I feel like
Habibti,
he's super-
please,
yeah.
into Anna.
Yeah,
He
that's kind of
recently-
hard. Hold up.
He didn't say it
Did
as
he
good
say
as
that?
me.
He
No.
said it like that?
He didn't say it like
didn't say
that.
it like
He
that.
said it
If you,
wrong.
he said
He
all
said
that.
akhla or something.
Oh,
but-
really? He did? Get out of here.
Akhla.
Like
She
he
said I
did?
look like
Wow.
Yusuf.
Listen.
I look like
Because
Yusuf.
I feel like the Arabic
Hamza.
language is so beautiful, but the way he does it is like perfect. Like I like doing it like that, like throwing in
Yeah.
that phrase, but
Yeah.
actually like saying it how
Well, people missed that
Wallahi.
he said "Little Pally Girl" on his right, or what did he say? "Little Palestine"
she
Wait,
said-
what?
on his new album.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
out
I
of
swear to
here!
God.
Where?
What did he say?
Gabby, send me the song.
We
so I
got
can
merch.
put it.
have
We got
merch with
merch
it on.
coming for it.
So we
Wait,
will
you
get
guys
you the
send me the
shirt.
song.
We gonna get
give me
you
the
the-
shirt.
and the shirt,
And like
too.
literally
For
send me that
sure.
song because I
We
need to
will.
like add it to
Said,
something.
Play it.
Lil Palestine, she with
playing
the
it.
gang. That's
Wow.
Yeah. I heard that early too. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, I know my
That's
country
hard.
when I hear it.
Listen,
Let's just
that's
put it this
so
way.
hard.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm
we're
not
like
even gonna-
starving for representation.
Money on my mind, I'm wrecking my brain. Got the little Palestine, she with the gang.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah.
He never
Oh
said
my
Lil
God.
Israel with the gang.
I
Never.
mean, you want all this smoke.
You're a
You want
hater,
all
bro.
this smoke. You want all this smoke.
I think
just
this
saying.
I recently met Drake, and
Oh, yeah?
through his Uncle Tim. Shout out Unc. And he introduced me as his like Palestinian Jordanian friend, and then he's like whispered something to him. He's like, "It's my rapping white boy." And I'm like, I keep trying to tell this to Drake. I keep trying to tell him I'm not white. He's like, yeah, it's not the same thing. He starts laughing and
That's
shit.
funny.
So like he gets our culture. Like
Yeah.
he knows what's up.
I mean, I feel like too, like when, because he has 40 is like Lebanese, and
Yeah.
like I feel like like when you're from that region,
Right.
I feel like like it's so like we're like literally like so tight. Like
Yeah.
my aunts live in Amman. Like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my grandma was Jordanian. My other grandma was Lebanese. Like you
Right.
know what I mean. So
Right.
it's just kind of like. It's like that, like it's so, like it's such a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I feel like because he has so many close people, you know, but then he's that, like he's Jewish, but then he has so many close people. So it's like, you got to be pro-love because you're like, damn, I don't like what's going on. But like, I got people on both sides that I love so much. And it's hard because it's like, my blood is Palestinian, but like, I got people on both sides that I care about. So I don't want anybody to like get upset or mad or like feel hurt because the everything happens and then all the people suffer, you know? So it's just like, no matter what's going to happen, people are suffering, you know? So, but like, obviously, you know what it is. And I feel like even like with him, like, you know, everybody really knows what it is.
Yeah. And that's a good example too, him being Jewish and not necessarily being Zionist. It's not the same thing. Yeah. You know, to be someone who just happens to have the religion of Judaism and someone who has a political ideology of, you know, of Zionism. It's two separate things. Exactly.
And I feel like, you know, if in general, I feel like Jewish people who are like religious and love their religion and practice Torah and go to the synagogue, like a lot of them
they're pro-love.
A lot of them are pro-love, and a lot of them, I've been seeing a lot of Jewish people, like Jewish people pro-Palestine, and it's just like, because they know, like, if you follow God's word, like that. Yeah,
they're the true people of the book, man.
Yeah, like come on, literally.
So I think it's safe to say Drake is pro-Palestine.
Literally.
And if not, come at me. You know how to reach me.
They want all this stuff. That's the side that wants all this
That's what I'm saying. We're like
I'm saying. You can let me know next time.
This episode is sponsored by Wall Home Products. They saw that my beard was messed up, so they like sent me a razor.
Wow.
It's a true story.
Is it?
They DM'd me.
Can I have that? I need a new razor.
It's a trimmer, isn't it?
It's a trimmer, yeah. Sorry, I meant trimmer.
Oh,
so
dope.
I'm just gonna like, it's like, you know, you charge it.
Bumblebee.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna be fresh and crispy next time.
This is important for Arab men, okay?
That's
like,
what
you
I'm
know. All grown man stuff.
How do you feel about like
pro beard?
About hairy Arab men?
Oh my God, I gotta tell you this. This is so funny. My older brother, like, literally calls me like the other day, and like, you know, like we're like getting closer, like in our adulthood life. And he's like, so me and him, like, we have the same father. My little brother and little sister have a different father, but like our stepdad. But like, apparently our father was just like probably really hairy, like really much so. Cause like we were both really hairy. So I've been doing laser for as soon as I, laser hair removal, as soon as I could, like as soon as I was like of age, like turned like 16, I'm like, Mom, this is a mess. Cause like literally like, you know, like we're so hairy, you know? That's like God giveth and God taketh, you know?
Right.
So it's like, whatever, we'll take it. But my older brother...
eyebrows don't come cheap, right?
You feel me? Like, we don't have to... This is real
they
stuff.
They love our eyebrows,
though. They love
the
eyebrows now. They love all that. Come on now. This is real stuff here. Right. Come on, this ain't like, come on now. Yeah. But...
Tell him.
He goes, so my older brother's like, oh, like, I was like, when I started doing laser, I'm like, you got to do laser too, bro. Like, you know, my older brother's like, very hairy. Like, he's like, he's a very good looking man.
Take off your shirt.
He's very hairy.
He's a hairy.
He's like,
I got Harry Potter right here.
Harry Mac.
Harry Mac.
That's Prince Harry right there.
So funny. Literally, and he goes, oh, I think I'm going to start doing laser. And I was like, wait, why? He's like, I'm just like, don't want all this hair anymore. Wow. I was like, I tried telling you this like so many years ago. You didn't want to do it, but it's so funny.
Do you find it attractive on a man, or do you prefer like a clean,
I think
type?
No, like I like manly men. Like I like whatever. Like I like the manly men. I don't like my man to like shave or anything like that. But if you do, like I understand, like and it's fine. You know what I mean? But it's like just because it's like prickly and stuff. You know what I mean? Too prickly.
Right.
But I think it's like I like manly men and I love it. I appreciate all of it. For me as a woman, I always hated it. Like I was like, take all of this off of me.
Yeah.
But men, I feel like y'all don't even care about that too. Like y'all don't care about that. Like you guys do not care about the hair on a woman at all. Like
I have a question for Talal.
Oh.
So in Islam, temporary like makeup is not haram, but permanent changes to your body is haram, isn't it?
Yeah, like tattoos.
Yeah.
So is laser haram?
Because it's not your body.
No, laser.
Okay.
Laser, I think.
No,
it's God's body.
I don't think laser.
You're permanently getting rid of your hair.
I
mean,
it's
not permanent.
It's never permanent.
If you do it like if you do it enough, it'll go away forever.
I'm not a
many
mufti.
times.
Like 7
Let me
times.
tell you, my face, I still do my face. Us Arabs are like out of pocket, hairy. You
Our
know?
follicles built different.
I still do my face. I've done like 50
Resilient.
sessions. It's
God
not
damn it.
normal. Like literally.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
It's like our brothers in Gaza. They just won't go down.
Literally, hair won't go down.
Too soon.
Yeah,
Nah, it's facts. They're resilient. They ain't going down.
Oh yeah, okay. Like the
So you're actually half or semi Puerto Rican.
Hey,
Something Puerto
literally,
Rican.
I was raised by like my mom's best friend growing up was like Puerto Rican, so I was like, I love Puerto Rican food. Love it. Are we recording?
It's still recording, but
Okay,
you know.
cool.
What,
You want to
is
put that in
something
there?
they don't wanna
Yeah, put that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw that
What's
in
your
there,
favorite
sure.
Puerto Rican food?
Oh man, arroz con pollo.
That's what I'm sampling right there.
Yummy.
Arroz. You gotta put the arroz con pollo.
Arroz con pollo.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. I know, mashallah.
Tres leches.
Literally.
Yeah.
Well, we don't need him to rap, do we?
Nah.
Him?
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna probably want to rap. Yeah, but no.
Where do you go?
He's probably getting you something to eat and drink.
Oh my.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's just wrap it then.
Cool.
Or should we go to
Mashallah.
another sponsorship?
Mashallah, mashallah.
I got sponsorships out the bag. You want to see my new?
Yani, we should see.
You want to see my new sponsorship?
Yeah.
It's Tabs Aphrodisiac chocolate for couples.
Get me these sponsorships. What is going on?
I got you. Here, this
Literally.
is for you and your special
Let's
someone.
get these bags. What's up?
Gets
Oh
you
my
in the
gosh.
mood. And
Wow.
we'll set you up with a brand deal.
Dark chocolate.
You don't like dark
Yeah,
chocolate?
get me this brand deal. What's going on? I love dark chocolate.
Okay, it's Tabs.
Give me this brand deal.
I got you.
Take your 15, 20%, whatever.
I don't want
We're
to
just
take
trying to
anything.
pay for the episode. To be
this
honest,
point,
at this point, the first level is that, and then we work our way up.
Okay,
I
should we
got
wrap?
you, though.
Should we wait for him? Oh no, it's
No,
fine.
let's wrap
I mean,
up.
if you're trying to leave,
Yeah.
I want to hear the. Weren't you gonna play a snippet?
Oh,
we can wrap
okay.
with the
Yeah,
snippet.
let's wrap with this snippet. Why don't we? Okay, this is what we
A
wrap
little
with.
promo. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
here we go. We'll wrap with this.
I'ma keep winning, inshallah. Oh my God, look at these wins, look at my life. Must be God, bad little bitch, you ruin your life. Mashallah, look at this drip, study the price. Then no success.
And where's this? This is streaming everywhere, right?
No, literally, that is just like a little.
Because I saw it posted
a little
on.
social clip that I put up.
Oh, okay.
I've been
So
putting
it's-
up these little social clips. I
But
put up a little thing for Palestine too. Like, you know, it was like, you know, it's called Coexist.
Why can't we coexist?
Yeah, so I've been dropping a little thing.
So those are gonna eventually drop, though.
Those are just, yeah, those are like for socials. And then I'm going to be dropping, like, they're going to be on my project and stuff. So I'm putting the EP together right
Okay.
now.
And
Like
where
that.
can people find that?
Right now? Well, right now.
I'm
this-
saying in the future.
Everything is out on all DSPs. This is out right now, though.
Yeah, I like this
Nonstop.
song. I like this song.
I've been thinking about you early. You're my one and only. You got my number, but
Hey.
Do you have like an OVO 40? Do you have like your own
You
OVO
snap with
40?
those melodies. You snap with those melodies.
My own-
Do you have like your
I see
main
you.
like
You know,
your main
you know.
producer?
I do have like a couple people who are like my go-tos
Okay.
on the team for sure. Yeah, like it's like a whole. It takes a whole army.
And they all know that. Like, is it the one guy that does all the Arabic stuff, or
Lately I've been working with like a gang of producers who have been like
Dope.
giving me like the best of the best stuff that I'm like, all right, I need these sounds, but it needs to be cool, you know.
When are you dropping the EP?
So my birthday's in January, and I'm gonna be coming
Capricorn?
like, yeah, Capricorn,
Okay.
gang. You already know. So I mean, I feel like
Around
first
then.
quarter, January, February, I'm gonna start dropping my singles off the EP and drop
the
it.
snacks man?
Yes,
Let's go.
we love it here.
Little parting gift, you know,
Aw.
some coffee or whatever.
Yay! Oh my God, I got all the
Get you,
things. Wow, you're the best. Wow, I love it. Why didn't I have this the whole time? Wow.
They don't technically. Oh, never mind.
We're not allowed to eat in here.
Oh,
but
never mind. Okay,
Whatever.
well.
we ate some
at the end.
We
hummus
won't
once.
tell anyone.
Hummus, really? Oh
Hummus and
man.
pita chips. Yeah.
Wow.
Hummus.
Are you, hold on, we'll end with this. Do you condemn hummus?
Why?
I love hummus. All right. Thank you for
I'm
tuning
dead.
in, guys. Habibti House podcast.
Yes, the Habibti House. We're changing the name.
Thank you for coming by, and thank you for blessing us with your presence as the first female guest. And we needed some female energy in here,
Literally.
and
Most definitely.
you came through.
I love you
Facts,
guys.
B.
I support you guys. I can't wait for this to blow up and we can be
Thank you.
on some other mainstream level.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it. To the top we go.
What can we expect from you, Nas? Anything you want to promote?
You just missed
I
it
missed
all.
it?
Yeah, I missed it all. No, literally.
Non-stop.
Yeah, Nonstop's out
okay.
now. Project is coming. And then a lot of like different projects that I'm getting into. I'm launching my own clothing, skincare, all the things line, a collection called Goddess.
Okay.
So that's coming. And all the things. Like I have like a lot of different things that I'm working on right now. So I'm
Sick.
really excited about
Sick.
it.
Cool.
love
We got to work on some music together too.
Let's get it.
Let's
Let's
do
get
it,
it.
for real.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in right now. Nonstop in the studio.
Bet. Let's get
I have
it.
a session right after this.
Yeah.
So like literally, that's
I
And I
right.
can
heard.
see like, you know, Eliana, Saint Laurent, like all that stuff happening too. Like all that stuff in the future as well.
Collabs.
Or
Oh,
unless
yeah.
you don't like them.
Oh yeah, of course. Hell yeah, we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to collab. Yeah,
just saying,
hell yeah.
like,
Yeah. Literally, I love it all. We need
Anise.
to collab with everybody.
Yeah.
You know Anise?
Literally, yeah. Like I literally, I know some of the artists, like new Middle Eastern artists out, and I love them all. I love it all.
I guess you've been around for a minute, huh? A lot of people are kind of just now starting to pop off. You see,
Yeah,
the new
literally,
Arab artists.
yeah. I mean, some people would meet with me and then go, you know, try to find another me like that. You know what I mean? Some of the artists you see right now are that.
It never will.
The OG, the OG.
But you know, I ain't mad at it. I love it.
Right. I mean,
More
to
the
me, it's
merrier.
like as long as our people are winning.
Exactly.
more
I
of
love
us,
it. And that's all I want. I just
Yeah.
want everybody to be in positions. Like
Yeah.
you open the doors so that more people could come in and,
Right.
and more people open doors so you can go in those too. So
Exactly.
I love it.
On it, P.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's sick. Thank you for coming in.
Yay guys.
Shout out to the vibe in the back.
Vibe crew over there.
Do you guys want to say anything?
Frankie!
Inshallah.
Yeah,
Inshallah.
Mashallah.
I like the little mic slide.
I know, right?
I know, right? The mic slide. Yay, that was so fun.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Amazing, guys. That was awesome.